This morning in Avoyelles Parish, former Marksville Deputy City Marshal Derrick Stafford was back in court about 6 years after he was convicted of manslaughter and attempted manslaughter in connection to the deadly shooting of 6-year-old Jeremy Martis and the shooting of his father, Chris Few, in November of 2015. Alina was there, Alina Noakes, and back in here in the studio to tell us what happened today.
So like you said, Brooke, this case is about 6 years removed from Stafford's conviction date. As a refresher, Stafford was convicted by an Avoyelles Parish jury in March of 2017. Now, the linchpin here, the verdict was not unanimous, and as of 2021, split verdicts are unconstitutional. That ruling came down in a Supreme Court case called U.S. v. Ramos in 2021. However, it's not retroactive and it's not automatic. Just because a conviction came from a split jury doesn't mean you automatically get a new trial. You have to file an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court within the timeline of the appeals process before a sentence and conviction is final. In Stafford's case, his appellate attorneys never filed an appeal to the Supreme Court, and at this point, he no longer qualifies for an appeal. His defense argued today that Stafford's appellate attorneys were ineffective for failing to file to the nation's highest court, saying it was, quote, beyond the realm of conscience. After all, at the time, the Ramos decision was pending before the Supreme Court. Now, on those grounds, they say Stafford shouldn't pay the price. But the Attorney General's office argued that doesn't matter. His appeals process is closed, and using Ramos as an argument is, quote, moot. To that, Judge William Bennett called into question what he says is fundamental fairness. He cited a similar Avoyelles Parish case called State v. Charles Mayu Jr., a case with a timeline only months apart from Stafford's that resulted in a split verdict. The difference is Mayu is receiving a new trial. That's because his attorneys did file a writ with the Supreme Court before the Ramos ruling came down and before his appeals ended. Judge Bennett called the proximity in the cases ironic. He asked both the defense and AG's office what the point of the court is for, justice or punishment. And on that note, he decided to take Stafford's case under advisement.
So what does this mean for Derrick Stafford moving forward? What happens next?
So next they are going to have to, the defense and the AG, submit their own arguments until July 17. That's the timeline they have, and then they'll have 30 days to respond to one another if they choose to. Now, Judge Bennett will begin considering their arguments and a ruling starting on August 18th.
And we'll be following that. Thank you, Alina.